In this video, we're going to have a look at how to create a command line interface. So to get started, open up your Visual Studio 2017 or whichever version you're currently using, and we want to go in and create a brand new project. So on the start page, look for create a new project down here, and we have to fill in the form telling the computer, the compiler, what language and what type of object we're going to create here. So we're doing Visual C#, and in this example we're going to do a console application, which is close to a command line interface. So when I select that, I have to tell the computer what I want and where I want to put it. So I'm going to call this my first program, and you can use spaces there. And then where do I want to actually store it? So I'm going to browse and put it up on my cloud. So I'm going to use my my OneDrive at Douglas College, go into my courses, and hopefully you've created a folder structure like this. Now it's going to create a folder called My First Program inside of this folder, so that's good. And it'll be up on the cloud. And I'm going to use the .NET framework, the latest version, and say OK. So that'll create the folder, and it'll set up the files for you to start developing your first command line interface. That might take a couple of seconds to get that set up, and you'll be prompted with the Visual Studio in the coding area. So there's different components, and I'm just going to look at this one for this video right now. So this area right here are your use case library files in the .NET framework, and we'll talk more about these in later classes. And then we've got what they call a namespace, and this is your overall solution to what you're doing, and we called it My First Program and put in a little underscore there. And then within that, so it works as kind of a hierarchy, there is a class program, and so we're going to write a program that's inside of basically our namespace solution here. And with inside there, we want it to do something. We want it to perform something. So that we've got some syntax right here to allow us to do that. Now these braces are basically when you have an open brace, everything inside there is within inside of that container. So it works in a hierarchy kind of structure. You can see here that the namespace has a brace, opening brace here, and a closing brace. So everything contained within it is part of that namespace. Similarly with the class program, we've got this statistic void method right here, and we've got the opening and closing. So what I want to do is put in my command statements inside of this particular method. So when I run this program, I want it to perform everything that's in this particular method. So I've already got the code typed out, so what I would suggest is that this is on the Blackboard site, or you can pause the video and type it in from here. Typing it might not be a bad idea. Just to get used to how to type this in. Copy and pasting is, you're not going to learn as much. The green lines right here indicate documentation. So // will document out everything on that one particular line right here. So it says the statement will output the message, what is your name? Actually it'll say hello world, what is your name? But basically it's going to display, it's going to write an output statement to the console or command line interface that has this information on here. And then from there, it's going to go down and say, it's going to wait and for the user to input from the console. So on the console, you will have to type in whatever text you want, assuming that you probably type your name in to answer the question. So it's going to read in everything that you type in off the input device, the keyboard, from the console, and it's going to put it in something which they refer to as a variable. And they call that a variable because it can be anything. It can be anyone's name in there, and this is just what type of variable. So string just means a string of characters, and we'll explain all that later. Alright, so I'm going to wrap this video up as part 1, and we'll start part 2 in the next video.